Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber Security Plus podcast. This series helps you prepare for the CompTIA Security Plus exam with focused explanations and practical context. For a companion study guide, check out the Achieve CompTIA Security Plus 701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. It is the most concise and complete Security Plus guide on the market, built for busy professionals who want to pass the exam fast and on their first try. You can find this book and others at cyberauthor.me. In the constantly evolving landscape of cybersecurity, it is not enough to simply build defenses and hope for the best. Organizations must assume that threats will eventually make it past initial barriers and be prepared to detect and respond quickly. That is why isolation and monitoring are critical parts of a mature security strategy. These techniques help minimize the damage from an attack and improve visibility into suspicious activity. In this episode, we focus on two major techniques: sandboxing and continuous monitoring. Let's begin with sandboxing. Sandboxing is the practice of isolating an application or process from the rest of the system to observe its behavior or contain its effects. Think of a sandbox as a secure box where software can run, but with limited ability to affect the outside environment. This technique is commonly used to analyze untrusted code, inspect email attachments, or run applications that could pose a risk. By keeping the potentially dangerous code in a controlled environment, sandboxing helps prevent malware from spreading or damaging the system. Sandboxing can take several forms. It might involve using a virtual machine where the application runs on a separate operating system instance, or it could involve more lightweight containerization where the application is isolated at the process level. Some sandboxes run in the cloud, allowing for remote inspection of unknown files or behavior. Regardless of the method, the key goal is the same: prevent untrusted code from having access to sensitive data or system functions. One real-world use of sandboxing is in email security gateways. When a user receives an attachment, the gateway can open the file in a sandbox environment to determine whether it behaves maliciously. If the file attempts to download other code, change system settings, or access protected files, the sandbox flags it as dangerous. The attachment is then blocked before it ever reaches the user. This proactive approach has helped many organizations prevent ransomware infections, credential theft, and targeted attacks. Another common example is web browsers. Many modern browsers use sandboxing techniques to isolate tabs and processes from one another. If a malicious website tries to exploit a vulnerability, the damage is limited to that browser tab and cannot affect the entire operating system. Some operating systems extend this concept by placing apps in isolated containers with limited permissions, reducing the impact of a successful exploit. Sandboxing is also used in software development and quality assurance. Developers can test new applications or updates in a sandbox before releasing them to production. This allows for safe testing without risking the stability or security of the main environment. In security research, analysts use sandboxes to reverse engineer malware and understand how it operates, providing critical insights for detection and defense strategies. However, sandboxing is not a silver bullet. Sophisticated malware can detect when it is running in a sandbox and delay execution, change behavior, or disable itself to avoid detection. That is why sandboxing must be combined with other techniques, including behavioral analysis and continuous monitoring. Continuous monitoring refers to the ongoing collection, analysis, and response to security-relevant data. This includes system logs, network activity, user behavior, and application events. The goal of continuous monitoring is early detection, identifying threats before they cause serious harm. Unlike periodic reviews or manual audits, continuous monitoring provides real-time or near real-time insight into what is happening in your environment. Effective monitoring begins with logging. Every system component, from firewalls to servers to applications, generates logs that describe what is happening: logins, file access, configuration changes, and more. These logs are sent to a central collection point, often a security information and event management system. This system aggregates, correlates, and analyzes the data to identify patterns or anomalies that may indicate an attack. One of the most important aspects of monitoring is log analysis. It is not enough to simply collect logs. You have to examine them for meaningful events. Automated tools can scan logs for signs of suspicious activity, such as repeated failed login attempts, unexpected access to sensitive data, or communication with known malicious servers. Alerts can then be generated and sent to the security team for investigation. Behavioral analytics takes this a step further by creating baselines of normal activity and flagging deviations. For example, if a user typically accesses the system during office hours from a specific location, but suddenly logs in at 3 in the morning from another country, that event would be flagged as suspicious. Behavioral analytics helps detect insider threats, compromised accounts, and advanced persistent threats that might otherwise blend in with normal operations. Continuous monitoring is essential for detecting threats that bypass preventive defenses. Firewalls and antivirus tools are important, but they are not perfect. Attackers may find ways in through social engineering, zero-day vulnerabilities, or misconfigurations. Continuous monitoring helps spot these intrusions and enables a rapid response. The faster a threat is detected, the more effectively it can be contained and remediated. Real-world examples of continuous monitoring in action include financial institutions detecting unauthorized transfers, hospitals monitoring access to electronic health records, and retail companies identifying credit card skimming malware on point-of-sale systems. In each case, monitoring systems provided early warning that allowed the organization to respond quickly and limit the damage. To be effective, continuous monitoring must be well-planned and properly resourced. This includes identifying what to monitor, setting thresholds for alerts, training analysts to interpret results, and automating as much of the process as possible. It is also important to ensure that monitoring does not overwhelm the team with false positives. Alert tuning, contextual analysis, and the use of threat intelligence can help focus attention on the most serious risks. To summarize, isolation and monitoring are core components of application and system security. Sandboxing creates a safe environment for running untrusted code, protecting the system from potential threats. It is widely used in email security, web browsing, software testing, and malware analysis. Continuous monitoring provides real-time visibility into the environment, enabling early detection and response that relies on centralized logging, behavioral analytics, and automated alerts to identify threats quickly and accurately. These techniques work together to strengthen the security posture and reduce the time between compromise and containment. As you study for the Security Plus exam, make sure you understand the purpose and function of these techniques. Expect to see questions about how sandboxing works, what kinds of attacks it prevents, and how it fits into a layered defense. You may also be asked to interpret a scenario involving log analysis, or identify which monitoring method is best for detecting a specific type of threat. Pay attention to the terms related to behavioral analytics, event correlation, and alert thresholds. They often appear in performance-based questions. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cybersecurity Plus podcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com. And before you take the test, make sure to check out the practice questions in the book Achieve CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. They cover every domain and are a powerful way to lock in your knowledge.